This is Catholic Forum. I'm Bob Krebs. Slave of Jesus and Mary, Catholic wife, mother of four, and the co founder and CEO of Catholic Owned, Brooke Joiner is originally from Colorado and spent the first 4 years of marriage in her husband's native Italy. A convert to the faith, her professional background is in business management, project management, and strategic operations. Since founding Catholic Owned in 2023 in South Florida, the company has launched its app and grown beyond the local area to include thousands of listed businesses across the country and serves nearly 10,000 app users and growing. I would like to welcome to Catholic Forum Brooke Joiner. Brooke, thanks for taking time to be with us today.
Thank you for your invite. It's an honor to be with you.
We're going to be talking about your great app, Catholic Owned, and how it came to be. Before that, tell us a little bit about yourself. What did I leave out of your bio?
Well, you did great with the bio. Really accurate summary. As it mentioned, first I'm a wife and mother. We have four wonderful children.
Mhm.
Um, and we're here in South Florida, so we have many graces from that, including our beautiful weather, which I'm not sure you can see, but it's a wonderful honor that we have, being Catholic, raising our children Catholic, and then in our work serving a Catholic community. We're just really in our element. So it's a real honor.
What now? You say you're a convert. Was it your husband that kind of, or your time in Italy? How did your conversion come about?
I converted actually before I met him,
Oh, okay.
just a few months before though. As you mentioned, I'm from Colorado originally. An interesting fact is I'm a sixth generation Coloradoan. So that's unusual. But I was always from Colorado. When I lived in the Boulder area, I went to the University of Colorado, and there were some Catholics in that area that I was, I guess, friends with. And that was sort of the catalyst for me to take a look at this. Um, Also sort of began thinking like to sort of prove that there was no reason to look any further at the Catholic faith was sort of the starting place that I came from. And obviously that didn't last very long. The more I learned, I was very interested. And then I went to adoration and had kind of an experience at adoration that really convinced me of the truth of the Catholic faith.
That's terrific. And then, how did you meet your husband?
So after my conversion, so April of 2012, uh, my patron is Mother Teresa. And so I wanted to go to I felt like called really. It wasn't I wanted to go, it really was called to go to Calcutta to volunteer at the first Mother Teresa house. So I kind of somewhat obsessively planned this trip. People kind of thought I was a little bit crazy. It's like, I need to go. I need to go to Calcutta, And so I went there, and it was actually, on the journey, there were not many Americans. So it's a long trip, etc. My first day of the work, I finally found some fellow Americans there, and they were seminarians who were studying in Rome at the PNAC. And so they spoke Italian and English.
Hmm.
That's the only reason they could even speak to both of us. Um, and it was actually those seminarians in Calcutta who introduced my husband and I.
Wow. What a great romantic story.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
Okay, so enough with the personal questions. Let's talk about Catholic owned. How did that come about?
So my husband and I were really kind of repeatedly frustrated by, for example, you would purchase something, and then the company that produced that item would make a social media post, uh, you know, actively saying, we will pay for our employees' abortions.
Hmm.
And, no, not information anyone asked for, but they were choosing to share that, right? These things contrary to our faith.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of get an icky feeling when that happens. And so that happened a lot of times, and that frustration kind of built. And we said, eventually we really felt called to just do something about that. And so we started working on Catholic owned. And what we found is a lot of people have the frustration. But yeah, it really sprouted from that discontent of having that experience over and over.
So, was your immediate goal to do it just for your community, and then it spread from outside the community? Is that how that happened?
Well, our goal always was to serve as many Catholics as our Blessed Mother would like us to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it usually makes sense in these types of things to start with one small community or area. So that's kind of why we started where we are. Um, but we then what happened was we just really started getting interest. Maybe I would post something on LinkedIn or on the Instagram account, and we would just get a lot of downloads from across the country. And
Mm-hmm.
that really showed us that this is a real need that people have. um, and we weren't going to turn them away.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. So that kind of accelerated the growth of the people coming to us.
So, what are the requirements for a business to be listed on Catholic owned?
When we set out, that was really the core issue, right? How do you define what it means to be Catholic owned? The church doesn't tell us what that means, but the church does tell us what it means to be Catholic. And so that's where we started, in obedience to the church and her shepherds, always. But so we developed our founding pillars, and they are four. The first is that they have to be faithful to the magisterium and in full communion with Rome. The second is that they are regularly practicing and in good standing. So we understand fulfilling the Sunday obligation every Sunday, holy days of obligation, they're really doing the things they need to do. The third is they have some sort of sincere daily devotions, whether that be they pray the rosary every day or other devotions. They're doing something every day. And the fourth founding pillar is really just a logical follow on from the first three. And that is that they operate their company according to the principles of the Catholic faith.
Mm-hmm. How do you go about verifying if a business's owners are doing that? Is it an honor system?
So they put it in writing that they agree to the terms.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, I would interview all of the people. What we realized was I would interview them and they would put it in writing. Um, there wasn't really, I don't have any special like soul reading power or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we realized that that wasn't really necessary. And so they put it in writing. And the other thing is if an app user notices, hey, this business is in my hometown and I didn't know they're Catholic because they're, doing this like activism for this cause that's against our
Mm-hmm.
faith, or I see this weird thing on their website or their social media that just went up. We invite people to let us know because we will remove if we have to. We try not to do that, but sometimes, because you can never know. So it's really a community effort.
So, what types of businesses are listed on Catholic owned? Is it just for Catholic centric businesses like Catholic bookstores, or could the pizza parlor down the street be listed?
Our vision is building the new Catholic economy.
Mm.
So if you can imagine all of the businesses in an economy, right? It's all business types. So whether you need to sell your house, which you need a realtor, you need possibly contractors, an inspector, you need a mortgage company, title, all of these professions just for that one transaction. Our vision is to make it possible for you to choose to do business with Catholics for that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got doctors, attorneys, um, local like restaurants and shops, local retailer, brick and mortar. And then we also have, of course, Catholic centric businesses that sell Catholic goods, but we only buy those things so often. And really, where we can move the needle when we're talking about building the new Catholic economy, looking at everything we buy, anytime we're buying outside the Catholic economy, money is leaking out, resources are leaking out. Um, so we're really trying to sort of seal up all of those leaks throughout all of the purchases that we're all making to keep the resources in the family, so to speak, so they can just keep going around and around amongst Catholics, which is ultimately, we believe, the way that we can rebuild the culture for Christ. Um, so it really is all business
Yeah.
types.
My guest today on Catholic Forum is Brooke Joiner, and she is the co founder and CEO of Catholic Owned, Building the Catholic Economy. I really like that. And you've been very successful for, you've only been around for a couple of years, but, your app and your business has really taken off. What do you think is the key to that?
We, first of all, the work that we do, we are consecrated to the Immaculate Heart. So the work that we do is in reparation for the many sins and blasphemies against her. So the work is very meaningful. We think maybe that has something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's just that people really want this thing. We hear from people sometimes multiple times a week of, you know, my wife and I have been talking for years. When will someone do something like this? Or me and my college buddies were, as sitting around and we wanted to do this, but then it was too hard and life got in the way, and so we kind of stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But people have been waiting for this for a long time, um, and so I think between our Blessed Mother helping us, it
Mm-hmm.
being God's will, and then that the people really are ready for something like this, we kind of attribute the growth to those factors.
So walk us through the app. What will users see?
The approach is really unique. So thank you for this question. It's so important. So we really have built the app to leverage the structure of the Catholic community. What does that mean? You are shown businesses in three key ways. First, at your parish. So businesses who are affiliated with your parish, you will see them on your homepage. And you can choose up to 3 parishes. A lot of times people have multiple. Second, if you don't find what you need at your parish, which is possible, we have Near Me. And so this gives the business owners a lot of extra visibility, and it also serves the app users to find businesses beyond their parish but still nearby. The third format that we display the information is nationwide. So when you look at what we call, the complete directory, you will be shown businesses that can serve you based on your location. You can't actually technically see them all because they all have different states for licensures and where they
Mm-hmm.
serve and where they are. But if you can see a business, they can serve you, and you can see them at your parish, near you, or nationwide. So no matter what you're looking for, you can find a Catholic owned alternative. And that's really the structure of the user experience inside the Catholic owned app.
What are some of the more popular features, would you say?
So finding the businesses, absolutely. People really like to leave reviews, which we
Mm-hmm.
love to see, um, and helps other shoppers and clients to discern right of who to do business with. We also have some other features that are just handy Catholic features. We link up to a couple of Mass Times directories. We have the readings in there, Marian consecration resources, and we also have an Oremos prayer wall. So you can post your prayer requests and pray for others in the community. So just kind of the essentials for Catholics. People actually use those quite a bit. And that's a beautiful thing as well. But the main focus really is on making it easy to find those businesses. You know, we're very transparent. You come to us to find businesses, so we're not distracting you with shiny content and then advertising to you.
Right.
Um, so it really is a designed to be a useful, quick, handy tool, and we find that that is really the most common use.
So I think you touched on some of the business categories, but are there other business categories that we should be looking for on the Catholic owned app?
You know, really, you can access the complete list of categories anytime in there. We have, I think, over 50 categories right
Wow.
now.
Hmm.
Um, you know, anything from babies and kids. Women's health is a big one. We've got, like I said, attorneys. We have so many local services and trades is a really growing category, which is exciting. Um, we have, like I said, the local shops is a big one as
Hmm.
well. Restaurants, cafes, coffee shops. So there are a lot of really great businesses owned by great people. And you can just filter by category. So, you know, again, just to make it easy for everybody, you can browse through that way and get the full experience.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a contractor to do some work on your house, or a mechanic to work on your car, or an attorney, or a doctor even, first place to check would be Catholic owned.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Now, a lot of I mean, the United States is very large,
Hmm.
so we don't have every category for every location yet. But we invite you to check first and keep checking, keep coming back because we're adding so many businesses all the time. And we really are just hustling to get as many in as divinely possible, we say, because it really is more than our effort that brings them in. So yes, if you don't find what you need immediately locally, keep coming back, but that is really our vision, is one app every Catholic owned business that you could really ever need.
Hmm. Here in our diocese, some of my colleagues are starting a Catholic Business Association for the Diocese of Wilmington. Um, would you say list a meeting or something on Catholic owned, or you haven't gotten that sort of request yet?
The local Catholic business guilds are excellent partners for us.
Mm, good.
So they do things we cannot. For example, local in person meetings
Hmm.
that offer formation and practical guidance for their members. You know, I can't be at every breakfast every month in every city of the country, but they can, and they do that really well. A problem they often have is where to keep their list of businesses. Building or maintaining a website is usually quite costly in terms of time and resources.
Hmm.
And that's where we can feel the need for them. So it's a beautiful partnership, and we love those groups. There are so many across the country. And really, the heart of why we love them is because first, they serve souls that we also serve, but second, the more that they are active, the fourth pillar of our membership becomes stronger.
Hmm.
So, operating the business according to the principles of the Catholic faith doesn't happen in a vacuum. Nobody is teaching that, you know, just like go to school and learn that. But these guilds can really provide that formation, that accountability, that support. And so it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm so happy to hear that in your diocese there's one starting up.
Yeah.
um, they're so good. They do such good work.
Yeah. So does it cost a business to have a listing on Catholic owned?
That is our model. We have a
Hmm.
membership model
Right.
for the featured businesses. It's an affordable annual rate,
Sure.
you know, rather than a high cost commitment or pay per click or anything like that. It's a membership, so they get their ad and they also get monthly networking calls. They get all these perks.
Yeah.
That's our featured. We do have a free option for those who need it, and plenty of people take advantage of that as well. But the most important thing is that they are aligned on their faith, and the rest will come in time.
How about the app? Is that free to users?
Absolutely, totally free.
Good, perfect. So, how can we get the app? How can we get more information? If there are business owners listening, how can they contact you about a listing? Where can we go from here?
You can find everything at CatholicOwned.com. The Catholic Owned app is available for iOS, so in the App Store, and Android and Google Play. It's totally free. We invite people to download the app and use it. That's the best way to get involved. You can find everything at CatholicOwned.com. If you are a business owner, you can click apply to be featured and you'll be taken through the process online. We do have the requirements and we also try to make it as easy as possible to get involved because we know people are busy. And so join us by going to the website, click apply to be featured, and we'll get you all taken care of.
Very good. Brooke Joiner, may God continue to bless you and your husband and your family and this great business that you started. And thanks so much for taking some time to be with us on Catholic Forum today.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
God bless.